Rhythm, routine, and replication. So when I went external, I had to come up with a way to be productive because I'm big on environment, and when I'm around people who are competitive and motivated like that, which it helps me to be productive, I had to come up with my own way to do that, and so I would create an environment. And I had to figure out what I was doing wrong, and so I used my rhythm. And I've defined rhythm, it's just a set way that you currently do things. It's that simple. If you look it up on like Google, it's any regular recurring motion, and that can be negative or positive. And so that's the rhythm that I was going through, and I'd pick out the negative, I'd remove them. I'd find the positive, and I would replicate it. And so once I looked at my rhythm, and all of you can do this, I established a routine that was oriented toward the positive. And routine is a sequence of actions that are regularly followed, or a regimen. So like in fitness, you usually hear the word regimen or discipline, and you can implement a regimen. And I'm saying this for a reason, I'm getting there. You have a regimen, and when you come up with this regular routine or a very strict way that you do things, you can replicate it. If you don't have that kind of structure, you can't replicate it. And that's the reason I gave you the 3 R's, so that you can have a organized way to replicate what I'm going to tell you. So, and I'm saying you got to do everything the exact way that I do, but this is my routine. It's this simple. I get up between 5 and 6 a.m. I wake up, I increase or I raise my energy levels, and you can do that any way you want to, but you have to do that, and then I adjust my mindset. I have to do all 3 of those. I have to get up. Every one of us, we have a way of adjusting our mindset. You wake up, I don't feel good today, like I don't feel good today. But I adjust my mindset, and some ways that I do that is I personally listen to certain types of music. Everybody has their own genre or specific way of getting their emotions right. We were talking about emotions earlier, the way that you feel about something. I don't feel good every single day. I'm just being real about it. I don't. Like Sunday, I didn't want to preach at church, but I have to remember why I'm doing what I do. Not to plug Grant Cardone here, but he has this 10X rule, and it's not just about 10X in your money. It's about making so much money that you not only change your life, but your family's life, and not only your family's life, but your community and those around you that become your extended family. And so I think about, why am I doing what I'm doing? Because I want to change lives. That's why I do what I do. And I want to adjust our mindset before I go any further. So when I went external, I'm just giving you a framework and a different perspective. When I went external, it sucked because I was used to this well-oiled machine. And for a moment, I had a mindset of extremely negative thought of like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? And not beating anybody on the head, ultimately it falls on me, because if I would have just changed that much, I would have remained internal. And I said, well, I'm here now. I've got the cards that I've been dealt. I'm going to do what I got to do, and I'm going to take care of my family and myself. And that's what I did. And I barely made it, but then I started getting better and better because I found my rhythm, I established a routine, and I began to replicate it. And I had people around me that would support me. Even when I went external, Justin didn't lead me to the wolves. He supported me. Rob didn't lead me to the wolves. He supported me. Stephen didn't lead me to the wolves. They supported me. Even though my situation had changed, I still had the relationships that mattered, which I guess that's part of my sermon from Sunday.
4 R's relationships.
Yeah, but from 5 to 6 a.m., I wake up, I raise my energy levels, I adjust my mindset. That's extremely important. 6 to 7 a.m., I focus on my health and my family. So I'm getting my kids ready for school. I'm taking my ginger shots and turmeric and a couple of other things. I take care of my health. I take all of my vitamins, that kind of thing. And if you eat breakfast, do that. 7 to 8, I commute to work. But I also feed myself spiritually and mentally, because how you think is really important. Spirit can be thought of different ways, but for me, I believe in the Creator God, and so I feed myself that, whether it's through music or preaching or podcast. And then after that, I feed myself mentally for business development or sales development. And then 8 to 9 a.m. we do office training. And then we create this community where the Medicare Gurus get to hang out and fellowship and develop these relationships that create the culture that we have, which is really important. I mean, how many here like the culture that you work in? Like, you get to come here. Like, this isn't everywhere. When I went external, I wasn't coming here, and that was kind of my fault. I isolated myself. We do that when we're embarrassed and feeling guilty about stuff. And it's really important that you have a community that can support you. That's why Medicare Gurus, you need to be inside of your Medicare Gurus training, or if you're on Medicare Monsters, you need to be getting on your Medicare Monsters accountability calls, because it's extremely important that you're held accountable and that you're around people who can push you in the right direction. The other thing is this, 9 to 11 a.m., so sales, this is really important. 9 to 11 a.m., really to 12, I focus on new money. And I'm going to be honest, I got this from Coach Michael Burt. I focus on new money. That's all I want to focus on. That's why I ignore phone calls sometimes when they're sent to me, because it's extremely vital for this machine that we develop new money, new sales. Now, if we're talking to in front of a client, I would say I'm helping new people. That's the way I would say it. But I'm focusing on new money, and that's outbound and inbound. If I don't have the inbound calls, I'm doing something to find something, and that you got to have activity. I think Tyler Reeves posted on Innovative and Friends that you need to be making 300 calls a week, which averages out to like, 60 calls a day, 60 outbound calls. That's a lot. But it's not hard if you just focus. And so with that being said, you need to eliminate distractions. And I do that by creating an environment in my office where I don't have any distractions. I may shut my doors, not because I don't like Kelly or Sed or Johnny, and I turn on the kind of music that I want to hear to help me focus. I mean, Jackson, you've been in there a couple times. Do I not do that? I shut my door and I focus.
Until I holler at you for beating on the
right. And I beat on my desk. I mean, I do whatever I got to do to keep my energy up. I do whatever I got to do to keep my energy up. Sometimes when nobody's in there, I do the weird stuff like push-ups and squats and all that crap. But I got to keep my energy levels up. And I don't try to make a show about it. I just do what I got to do what I got to do. It's that simple. Nothing entertaining about it. That's just what I do. But then 11 to 12, I'm starting to transition from new money to customer service. So, and this fluctuates with appointments, that kind of thing, but this is what it looks like. And then from 12 to 2, these are the flexible hours for our lunch break / appointments. That's the way that I look at it. And then I will come out of my office to change my environment because I get bored easy. So you got to be really self-aware. I get really, really bored really, really fast, and he knows this. And when I came back internal, I told him and Rob, I said, I will eliminate every distraction so that I can focus. Did I not? Mm-hmm. And I did. I even sold a stock for less profit. I did. So, but from 12 to 2, flexible hours for lunch and clients, and then 2 to 5, callbacks because I ignored them in the morning on purpose. You can't answer every phone call. You can't. Ask Justin. He does it all the time. He has to eliminate distractions because he has to prioritize. You have to put first things first. You have to do it.
Yeah, just so somebody calls pissed off about their PDP not being accepted at Zip Scripts doesn't mean you can drop everything in your daily routine that makes you a successful human being to handle that problem. You know, I mean, we can say, you know, with sincerity, you know, we're gonna get on top of this. We're gonna get back to you, and we can have that message out there. A lot of times, y'all can handle it, but if I do have to get involved in it, you know, hopefully at this point I can get somebody else to handle it for me. But but if you get to that point where you know it does need to get to me, then I can talk to them, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna drop everything right now and talk to that person. You know, I mean they're the worst problem in their world is probably one of the smaller problems in my world. You know, because most of those people are sitting around not, you know, their life's fairly mundane. And I'm saying it's a big problem to them. So what I want is the people that initially handle the phone call to make them feel like, yes, that's a huge problem to us. We're going to fix it. We're on top of it, and try to instill that confidence so that if I don't call them back in 10 minutes, they're not freaking out, you know. So we're going to talk, you know, Justin's going to help us with it. We're going to handle it. We're going to take care of it. Just instill the confidence and get back so that you can get back to a routine that actually creates long-term prosperity. You can't only handle customer service and think we're actually going to grow a business out of that.
Right. No, the most important factor in growing a business or running any business is generating new money.
It is.
If you do not do that, you will crumble. And I learned that when I was on my own because it was my own business. I had to do it. I mean, I had to make sales.
You know, the most expensive aspect of every business in the world is sales. Every business, every insurance company will tell you their largest portion of their budget goes to sales.
Yeah, makes
It goes to commissions. It goes to generating sales. But they all spend it happily because they have to have the money coming in for the entire business to work.
Yeah.
So that's true. You know, it's the most energy spent there, and most of the insurance companies hire you because they don't know how the hell to sell and to get people to buy things from them. They know how to create products, and they know how to service, and they know how to, you know, brand or whatever, but they don't know how to sell, and so they spend a lot of money paying, you know, agents to do that. But that's every business. Every business spends more money on sales than anything else. Even these direct-to-consumer e-commerce businesses, like Purple. You know, what's that Purple mattress company? It's all direct-to-consumer mattress. They haven't even turned a profit yet. They're spending so much on direct-to-consumer sales. It's like a concept they're trying to play out, but it's actually losing money galore because they're doing all that money on advertising. So even when they're not paying a commission, it's actually proven to be more expensive to try to get people to buy it directly, even through sales. So anyway, I'm just harping on that idea that sales is very expensive, and so it is the most important concept that makes everything else work.
Yeah. And from internal of this office, I would say, and wherever you're working at, whatever your work environment is, you can implement this. Every role is extremely crucial because it allows whatever job description you're in to prioritize that job description. Like my job description is sales. Now it includes other things, but the primary concern is new money and servicing the best that I can with that. And when I first came internal, before I went external and came back internal, well, this is what happened. I was selling because Justin said, just go sell something. And that's what I would do. But I did it at the expense of good customer interaction. I did.
Yeah.
Now, when
the sale and what we do extends past the initial point
of
transaction. It does extend to try to provide that confidence that everything's taken care of. And you sell over the phone, there's less confidence being made, so it sometimes requires a little bit of follow-up.
Yeah.
And as we develop, you know, we have more and more people to help with that, and that's why, like, even everybody in here is technically supporting the sales role. We're a sales machine, so it is supporting that. There are times when people want to talk to the agent that wrote them. It makes them feel important, but, you know, we try to take that off as much as possible in the long run. But that initial button up of the sale and follow through, you know, has always been on the individual agent. And then over time, we're trying to get more and more we didn't have Mallory in the role that she is now, where it's like full-time agent support, which will take more and more things off people. But the agent still needs to be involved in the follow-up as part of the overall sales objective. But by the same accord, the support system should understand that the job of the support system is to also support the salespeople so that they can sell more.
Yeah.
Because the longer that they spend on the phone dealing with customer service, the less they're selling, and the overall business hurts. And everybody's wages or commissions or whatever are paid for by money coming in. And that's not done by your top salespeople called up for an hour talking to an insurance company.
Right.